Hello friends, welcome if you're new here, or welcome back if you've practiced with me before to Yoga with Paige. Today's class is Love for Lunges. So we really just deepen our flexibility through our hip flexors, our quadriceps, our groin muscles. We twist it out a little bit, really just working through a lot with the lower body. So if you want to grab a block to help you find these poses a little bit more accessible, please grab that now and we can get started. We begin today in easy seat, ankles crossed, sitting up nice and tall, hands find the knees. Maybe we close the eyes as we center ourselves here for a few breaths. Just noticing your natural breathing pattern, letting it be. And maybe still keeping the eyes closed, maybe moving a little bit intuitively. We're going to flow through a seated cat-cow. So inhale. Lift up the chest and a gaze. And exhale, round through the back. Press against the knees with the hands, tucking the chin. Moving with the breath. Just mobilizing through the spine. Waking up through the shoulders, the neck, the throat. Opening up our center of communication, the throat chakra. One more round like this. Then we find our neutral spine. Gently blink the eyes open. We're going to extend the right leg, toes pointed towards the ceiling, cradling that left shin in towards the chest. As much as feels good here, playing with any of these angles, what feels good, what's opening you up. Maybe finding a little rock, trying to keep integrity in the spine, sitting up tall, deepening through the hip flexor. And on your next exhale, we're going to gently cross that foot over, finding a very gentle twist, hugging that knee with the left elbow. Just gently saying hello to the lower back. And exhale to release back to center, the front of the mat, cradling in the right leg. Active in this left leg here, active. I was going to say active activation, but you catch my drift. One more breath here, find some stillness. Exhale to find our twist. Giving yourself a little hug this morning. Exhale through center. Going to widen the legs about as wide as the yoga mat, toes pointed up. Inhale, find length in the spine. We're reaching up through the crown of the head. Shoulder blades are pinched together. And then exhale, we're going to take the right hand and try to reach the left toes. Just a little twist here. Inhale, back to center, and exhale, twist. Moving with the breath. Finding this mind-body connection. One more each side. back up, neutral spine, and release. Crossing at the ankles, coming into our tabletop pose, where we take little hip circles. So we take the hips, maybe we take the hands a little bit further out. If we need a little bit more room, kind of find any wiggles in there. Taking slow circles. Movement small or big, whatever is calling to you. Evening out both sides. Before we return back to our tabletop, we're going to kickstand this left leg behind us and extend the right to the side, coming into gate pose, lifting up the chest nice and tall. And then exhale, reaching that left hand overhead, beautiful side body stretch. Inhale, raise back up, and exhale to drop the left hand, reaching over with the right. Using our core to lift back up before we stretch the other way. Feeling our chest and our shoulders open as we flow through this a few times. Last one. Feeling nice and open. We're going to take both of the hands in front, still facing the side of the mat. Grounding through the right hand, peeling that left up. We're going to take a little thread the needle variation. Exhale, thread it underneath, coming to lie on the left shoulder. Noticing how this feels different. We feel the opening in the hips as well as the shoulders and the back. Always ways to make things more active stretch, more strength. Exhale to press up, release, finishing it up with the left hand before circling back. And we're just going to gently switch sides. So taking that right knee in, extending the left leg out long. Raising up nice and strong, pinching the shoulder blades together before we release the right hand overhead. And carefully switch sides, moving at your own pace. Maybe finding a little smile. We're building up some heat in the core. One more flow like this, one more each side. Taking our time. And gently lifting back up to this prep pose, taking the left knee in, turning to face the front of the mat, walking the hands out, finding our tabletop, tucking the toes, lifting the knees about an inch off the mat, holding here, protracting through the shoulders, tucking in the pelvis, and then sending the hips up, downward facing dog, walking the hands out, pedaling out through the feet, waking up, big toes are together. Grounding through the left leg, raising the right behind, pulsing here. 3, 2, 1. Bending the knee, bringing it in through the chest, releasing it between the hands, finding our strength here before lifting up. Hands come to the hips, squeezing the thighs together. And then we're going to drop the left knee down 5 times. 5, 4, 3. Isolate your muscles. 2, and 1. Releasing the fingertips, stepping up to the front of the mat, feet hip width apart, kind of throw the energy behind. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold. One more time, big inhale, and exhale, release it out. Inhale, up to the sky. Right hand grabs left wrist, and we find a slight side bend. Exhale through center, switching sides. Center, gently releasing, hands come down by the sides. Inhale, mountain pose, hands to heart center. Taking a moment here to check in. Then inhale, reach up high. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, gently step back to high plank and take a vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog, sending the heels down, the hips up, finding this lengthening happening in the spine, throughout the backs of the legs. We're going to lift the left leg up and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bring it back down. Grounding through the left foot, raising the right leg behind, bending the knee, bringing it all the way in, coming into a low lunge. Taking the hands up to the hips, sinking into this next exhale. Inhale, arms come above the head, big stretch. Exhale, we open to the right side. Still knitting the thighs together. Nice and strong here, pinching the shoulder blades together. Then releasing the left hand, reaching the right up high. Beautiful twist, our chest is open. Releasing that right hand to the knee, just gently opening it to the side, stopping wherever you find discomfort or pain. Just opening up, we're on the outer edge of that right foot. Bringing the knee back through center, reaching that right arm back to try and grab the ankle, quadricep stretch. Maybe taking our gaze behind us, if that feels good. Gently release, framing that foot. We're going to try to do it without the hands. Take the hands to the hips, lift up that back knee. And release the hands, taking a vinyasa, finding high plank, and slowly lowering down. We meet in downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg behind, bending the knee, coming into our low lunge, holding here for a moment. Feeling this stretch before we go any further. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, revolve and twist. Active in the legs. Planting the right hand, reaching the left up high. Making a nice long line of energy. Then releasing that left hand to the knee, opening up through the hips. then taking that left arm back, trying to reach the ankle. Gently release, framing that left foot, turning to the wide edge of the mat, coming into a side runner's lunge. So our left leg is still bent. Our fingertips are on the mat, helping with stability here. We're going to switch sides, sinking into the right hip. Just moving back and forth. Keeping our chest high. If we want an extra challenge, we can do it with our hands on our hips, depending on how spicy you're feeling today. Just really opening up here, one more each side. And then ending with the right knee bent, coming into Skandasana, pointing the left toes up high, reaching the left arm up. Sinking the pelvis down. And on this next exhale, we're going to come into Warrior Two. So planting that back foot, turning towards the back of the mat. Nice and strong, we're holding here for a breath. And then inhale, reach up, extend, switch their feet, coming into Warrior Two to the back. Reversing it, now coming into Skandasana, left knee is bent, planting the left fingertips, reaching the right overhead. Releasing that hand, coming in the middle, straightening both legs, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale to find length, and exhale to fold. Rocking a little side to side. Then finding some stillness, trying to reach the head betwixt the legs. But honoring if we're not there yet. Just being here now in the present, in this moment, in this part of your journey. Lifting the chest up, turning to face the front of the mat, stepping forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, taking a slight back bend here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And stepping into high plank, taking a vinyasa. Lowering down, elbows knit to the sides. We meet in downward facing dog. Grounding through the left foot, raising the right, bending the knee, taking this foot to the outside of the right hand this time. Sending that left heel back, nice and active, coming into lizard pose. Keeping the chest nice and high. Really opening through the hip flexors. You can come down onto the elbows if we'd like. Taking a few more breaths here, really feeling this deep stretch. We're going to steeple onto the left fingertips. Raise the right arm, finding a little twist. Once we find our balance here, we're going to slowly start to shift our weight, maybe lift that left hand off, so we're kind of just flying here. Really squeezing through the glutes, the quadriceps. Holding here, using your breath. Then releasing the left hand to the mat, keeping the right up top. We're coming into side plank, sweeping that right leg to the side, toes come to the left knee. Sending the pelvis up high, connected to the core. We're here for 2, 1, then straighten the leg, Try to wrap peace fingers around big toe. Hold here, nice and strong. Then seeing if we can gently bend the knee and with control come into a runner's lunge. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, we're gonna rock on that left foot and step up to the front of the mat, coming into Malasana, toes pointed out to the corners, hips sinking down, using the elbows to open up through the knees. Maybe bringing hands to heart center, finding something we're grateful for today. Maybe it's just this practice, getting yourself here on the mat. Or maybe something more specific. Taking that gratitude with us. And exhale, plant the hands, straighten the legs, but come onto the knees, tabletop position. Coming onto the elbows, but lifting the hips up for dolphin, so tucking the toes, lifting up, walking the feet up, trying to reach the shoulders over the elbows. You can stay here, or we can play with little kicks if we like, maybe a forearm stand, making this practice your own. One more breath. And then raising up and coming into high plank, resituating. Then slowly taking a controlled vinyasa. Inhale, reach up, big deep breath. And exhale over the toes, send the hips up. Raising the left leg, three-legged dog. Bringing it all the way through to the outside of that left hand. Surrendering to this huge, deep stretch. Surrendering to anything that may come up during this practice or after. As we're working through a lot of hip openers, it's a lot of emotional release. Sometimes things that we didn't even know we were holding. All right, and then coming up onto the fingertips, reaching that left arm up high. Still nice and active in the legs. Floating our fingertips, maybe releasing the hands. Feeling our strength here, tapping into our power. And releasing, coming into our side plank, sweeping that left foot up. Squeezing the glutes. Spreading through the fingers. Extending that left leg. Reaching for the toes. Hold for a breath. And coming into our runner's lunge. Taking one breath here before rocking up into our Malasana. Maybe feeling a little bit more open this time around. Releasing, finding our way back into dolphin pose. Playing with maybe the same variation as before or a different one. One more breath. And if headstand is in your practice, we can take that now, or we can take headstand prep. So we interlace the fingers, we place the crown of the head on the mat, and we hold our head. Walking our feet up towards the head until we feel our shoulders are stacked on top
while our hips are stacked on top of our shoulders, and then we lift up one foot at a time, playing with that, checking in with your headstand journey, pressing the shoulders away from the ears, connected to the core, breathing. If we fall out, that's okay. And whenever we're ready to gently release, we can come into rabbit pose, child's pose, whatever your little heart desires at the end of this practice. Melting the heart down. We're going to lift the chest up and slowly roll onto the back. Taking the right knee, crossing it over the left, finding our ankles, getting a little glute stretch here at the end. Giving ourselves a chance to catch our breath if we got it going. Exhale to straighten the left leg, taking a twist. Finding a little surrender. Exhaling back through center, taking the left knee over the right, taking the ankles into the hips, breathing deep. And then releasing into our twist, knowing that all the work is done. We can relax here. Find whatever feels good, whatever variation. Maybe we're already in Shavasana. This is your practice. And with that, we can gently roll onto the back. Letting the legs straighten, arms can come above the head. One final stretch, big reach. And let everything go. Taking a few moments of just pure stillness. Relaxing tension in the face, in the shoulders, in the belly, the legs. Taking one big deep breath to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Take a small little sip of air. And release to 4, 3, 2, 1. Expel it all out. And whenever we're ready, we can gently make our way up to a sitting position. Thank you for practicing with me. It's always a pleasure. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you did, please give it a big ol' thumbs up. Leave your thoughts down below. And hit that subscribe button to never miss more daily free yoga classes. I'll see you next time, friends.